Welcome to Basics and Beyond the podcast. I'm Coach Laura. I am so glad that you're here today. We are going to talk about insulin sensitivity. I know we've talked about this before, but I'm going to give you some strategies to take away today that you can use as soon as you're done watching this, or even if you're listening to this, you can start these strategies right away. And this is very important, particularly in this day and age where we are seeing the incidence of type 2 diabetes increasing even in our young people. The latest studies that I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years around adolescent type 2 diabetes is frightening. So I want you to think about this in a different way. I don't want you to think about what we've been told and what a lot of people talk about is type 2 diabetes, insulin insensitivity. It's an age thing. It happens as you age. And it's in conjunction with metabolism slowing down. So it's this whole kind of cacophony of ideas around age is the problem. If age was the problem, we wouldn't see type 2 diabetes pushing into 10-year-olds and 9-year-olds. It's not about how old you are. It's about how you're taking care of your body today. So today, we're going to talk about a few strategies you can use to take better care of your body. But first, I want to rewind and take you back to what insulin sensitivity really means, right? So insulin sensitivity has a lot to do with our digestive system and ultimately how we get energy to the spaces in our body that need the energy the most, okay? So what does that mean? Well, think about it this way. If you decide to go for a run today and you're going to go do a 5K or you're just going to, run around the block, or maybe you're going to run a half marathon, I don't know. But let's say you're going to go do a run. You need more energy in your legs. You need more energy in your lungs, right? You need more energy in your heart. Like those are areas that you're going to use more energy when you're running, as opposed to digestion. Right? You're not going to be using a lot of energy for digestion because your body's going to say, I don't need to digest right now. I need to push energy into these other spaces. And in order for that energy to go where it needs to go, it needs to be there. And where does it need to be? It needs to be in your bloodstream. And how does your energy get there? Well, where does your energy come from? Energy comes from the food you put in your body. In order for that energy to get into your bloodstream, there's a long process that happens. And it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's complicated. We have to chew our food. Our food has to get into our digestive system where it has to be broken down appropriately. So we have to have enough stomach acid to make that happen. It has to go into our intestines where it gets broken down even more. And then it is filtered into our bloodstream. And it's called glucose. Glucose goes into your bloodstream. It needs to be grabbed onto by insulin. Insulin takes that glucose where it needs to go in your body. Let's simplify it even more than that, because that was a lot in one sentence, basically, right? In order for your body to use the food that you eat, those vitamins and minerals, your digestive system has to break it down into small enough pieces, really, really, really small pieces, so that it can move through your intestinal wall into your bloodstream as glucose. Here's a problem. What happens when that glucose gets into the bloodstream if there's no insulin there to take care of it? So two things can go wrong when we think about type 2 diabetes. We think about, number one, our pancreas has to supply our body with enough insulin to grab onto all those glucose molecules, or most of them, right, and move them where they need to go. The more insulin we have, the better that glucose uptake is going to be, right? That would make sense. And that might not be true. The other issue we can run into when it comes to type 2 diabetes or insulin insensitivity is all that insulin comes out, but it's not grabbing onto that glucose. There's something wrong. It's not going to grab it. So then we have all this glucose roaming about in your bloodstream, which is why we can see our glucose numbers if we just prick our finger and check our blood glucose, right? We can see what our number is, how big our number is, and how much glucose is in our bloodstream at any point in time. What we would like to see is we would like to see kind of what we saw as kids. I always like to use this analogy. When that glucose enters the bloodstream, right, we want to make sure there's insulin enough there to grab it. It's like when you were a kid and your friend was like, hey, I'm going to come over and we're going to go for a bike ride, or we're going to go to the park. And you're like, awesome. And you're so excited about it. And the second your friend hits the doorbell or knocks on the door, you open that door, you're like, let's go. That's what we want to see with our glucose. We want that glucose to be ready when that insulin is there. When that insulin knocks on the door, that insulin grabs that glucose and says, let's go. And they run off and give our body the energy that it needs. There are two things, like I said, that can inhibit that. Number one, we don't have enough friends coming to the door. We don't have enough insulin. Or that insulin is like, I don't want to play with you today, and doesn't grab onto the glucose to bring it where it needs to be. So the question is, how can we help our body be more insulin sensitive? How can we help that process? Because that process is directly connected to our metabolism. So if you want to lose 10 pounds, or you want to have more energy, or your thyroid isn't functioning as well, we need to address this issue. We need to do some things to help our glucose and our insulin grab on and run and do what they need to do. What are some strategies we can use to do that? Well, number one, I kind of alluded to it before already. Chew your food. It is important to be in a calm state. Sit down, put your food on your plate, not plate on your food, put your food on your plate, and actually chew your food. Back in the day, we used to say things like, take a bite of food, put your fork down and chew it. Don't touch your fork until you've chewed and swallowed your food. Then you can pick up your fork again. That's a great strategy. It seems like craziness, and it's like, shouldn't we be farther along? It is the 21st century, people. No, very simple. Put your fork down, chew your food, pick your fork up, take a bite, put your fork down, chew your food. We need to chew that food as much as possible, because what we forget about is that chewing is part of the digestive process. The smaller we can get that food in our mouth, the easier it is for our stomach and our intestines to do the rest of that breaking down of that food for us. So if you think about it, all these people who have, issues with digestion. Maybe it's difficult. Their digestion is difficult. Maybe they burp a lot. Maybe we have stomach acid issues, right? You can help that by chewing your food better. Give your stomach a break. Chew your food so that once it gets into your intestines, your stomach and your intestines, it doesn't have to work so hard. That is step number one. Chew your food, sit down, be calm. Perfect. What else can we do to help that insulin sensitivity? Goes back to that meal planning, that meal prepping. What are you eating? Here's the thing. If you can eat some protein before you eat your carbs, you're going to slow down your digestion. So when you look at your plate, say that you have chicken thighs and you have some potatoes and you have some veggies there. Eat some of that protein before you dig into your potatoes. Protein is much more challenging for your body to digest, to break down into those smaller particles. So if we can get digestion happening ahead of time and then put the carbs in on top of that protein, your digestion is going to slow down. So we're not pushing a ton of glucose into the bloodstream really quickly. Carbs are much easier for your body to digest, which means it digests them faster, which means glucose ends up going to the door of your bloodstream much more quickly, and we have to have that insulin there to grab onto it and move it where it needs to go, right? So if we can slow down the digestion, we're going to give the pancreas time to release that insulin, and that insulin is going to be ready for that glucose to come out and play. Okay, so eat some protein. Eat protein, a little bit of protein first before you dive into those carbs. And it goes without saying, don't eat carbs on their own. I mean, that's kind of the logical next step, right? Make sure you eat the protein first and make sure you're having a full meal every time you eat. Now, am I saying you should have 3, 4, 5 giant meals a day? No, but a snack is just a small meal. So if you're having a snack, make sure you have a little bit of protein with it. That's going to help your insulin sensitivity too. Look at that. 3 strategies. Bang, bang, bang. Number 1, chew your food. Number 2, eat your protein first. And number 3, make sure you have protein every time you eat, even if it's just a little bit. 3 strategies right there. What's next, Laura? Well, I'll tell you what's next. Another thing that's important is when you're done eating, move your body for 10 minutes. Move your body. Now, here's the thing. If you just ate a big meal, you're probably not going to go for a run. So you notice I didn't tell you exactly how to move your body. It has to fit for you, just as everything else when it comes to our health. So maybe you take 10 minutes to finish up the laundry. Maybe you take 10 minutes to go for a short walk around the block. Maybe you take 10 minutes to play with your kiddo. Whatever that 10 minutes of movement is, just moving your body is going to help your insulin sensitivity, because your body is then going to say, hey, wait, I need a little bit of energy right now. Awesome. It's going to make things move a little faster. It's going to make that insulin grab onto the glucose and push it where it needs to go because you're moving your body. That's the 4th strategy. Don't just sit there. Move your body. I know for me, one of the things that I just naturally do, and people just think I'm crazy, I'm a little freakish about like cleaning. I like to clean. It makes me happy. So what I've noticed that I tend to do after I eat is I immediately start cleaning up. Even when I'm at people's houses for like birthday parties and such, people who know me know this, and you're probably giggling right now because it's true. I just start taking plates and I start cleaning up the kitchen and cleaning up the table. And it's not because I think about it and go, oh, this is going to help my insulin sensitivity. That's not what it is. It's just what I do. And the objective, when we think about these 4 strategies that I just gave you, the objective is that it just becomes something that you do, right? You practice it. And that's what we talk about all the time when I work with my clients is this is practice. This is not perfection. We're progressing. We're progressing through life, right? We're never arriving. There's never perfection. So practice chewing more. Practice putting your fork down, right? Practice eating your protein before you eat your carbs, right? Practice making every meal have protein and carbs in it, right? Practice getting up and moving around after you eat instead of sitting. It is just about trying these things on until they become just something that you do without thinking about it. And inevitably, what happens? We increase our insulin sensitivity. We push off that pre-diabetes because our glucose is going to be in a better spot. And when your glucose is in a better spot over a 3-month time period, you're going to see that A1C come down, right? Because an A1C is really just a 3-month kind of picture of where your glucose has been overall. So we're going to see those things come down. We're going to see insulin sensitivity increase, and your metabolism is going to increase. And when we see those things improving, you're going to see your body composition improve. You're going to see your energy improve. You're going to see your mood improve. Your health markers are all going to get better. So, as we're finishing this up, I just want to summarize. Number 1, chew your food. Number 2, protein with every meal. Number 3, eat your protein first. At least some of it, not all of it. You don't have to eat all of it. Like, we're not going crazy. And number 4, move your body in a way that serves you for 10 minutes when you're done eating. Those things are going to help your insulin sensitivity. They're going to help your glucose numbers, your A1C, and they're going to help your energy and you to be healthier every day. So as we say, take some of these strategies, practice them, play with them, rise and redefine who you are today and tomorrow and every day after that. Have a wonderful day. I'm glad that you came. Make sure that you check me out on all the socials. And if you have questions or if you want to be part of my newsletter, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. Go and make it a great day.